Hey, good morning. This is 100% me. Hair and makeup team went on vacation, and I had a thought that was inspired. So there's lots of things that I would love to say or share about health, given my 23 years of being licensed as a traditional Chinese medical practitioner. So what does that mean? You know and are familiar with acupuncture, but you don't know that it comes from its own system of diagnosis, and that's roughly termed traditional Chinese medicine. And keep in mind that when I say roughly termed, it's kind of a convenient label for the great traditions of many, many different diverse geographical regions in China throughout their history. So it's like saying American Indian, when you know full well by now, or you should know, that there are many nations within that label. So just like with China, there were many nations or ethnicities, and their great medicinal traditions just kind of got lumped together politically in the 50s and termed TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. But, it took care of a population independently of the West and the advent of Dutch medicine and the adoption of it. So there's some respect to be due for that, not to mention that they've endured how many epidemics throughout their history, and they did not go extinct. So that being said, I wanted to talk about the personification or characterization of our bodies. The idea that our bodies are this entity separate from us, a persona, if you will. And it's something I picked up in the languages that refer to the body, as if it's doing something to you, like my body hurts me, or it hurts me. Again, there's that separation. And the problem with that is when you do that, first of all, I don't know how true it is. Does your body separately identify itself as a consciousness? Does it have its own reality and dimension that it exists in separate from you? And if you honestly don't even think about that, maybe you should, because how profoundly erroneous is that, to think that your body exists in its own dimension separate from you, and that is inflicting harm on you for some reason. It's got some personal vendetta against you, or you just can't quite put things together, so you're going to regard it with fear and loathing as an it, when you don't realize your body is you. And of course, that's an obvious statement, but how does it actually work its way into our language and our mindset when it comes to the diagnosis and the strategy that we go about treating our diseases? So it's very important not to personify your pain, like my arthritis is really bugging or killing me, or oh, it's my I don't know, X number of biomedically defined disorders. Oh, it's acting up again, like it's some kind of wanton misbehaving child or something, when it's just you. We need to stop separating and compartmentalizing like that, because at the end of the day, you're the same person, the same organism, with the same set of organs that govern the same systems, or at least they're trying and struggling to do that. And every time they fail or they get confused, they give off a set of symptoms or symptomatology, and that takes you down another course of diagnosis. So you can see how the division is infinite and abysmally so. And how do you integrate when you're pulled apart in so many different directions? Now each different symptom set, which is still happening to the same person, same body, same organs, same systems, is now competing with other disease diagnoses for the same space, the same room, competing chemically, competing surgically, competing radiologically, competing nutraceutically, competing nutritionally, instead of trying to understand that it all is one. It's all one. What can you do with this? I know this sounds rather abstract, but it's actually more simple than the way that we've been going about looking at disease. Would it not then make sense to really understand how to aid the body's organs and their functionality, and to do it with the least amount of intervention, to do it energetically through medicine or medicinal traditions, I should say, that explore and try to understand the mystery of chi, or energy, the motivational force of our body, the functional aspect of any disease. And that's what I want to share more and more about. I just sort of had this thought that I had to get out. And there you go. You are your body, but your body is not against you. It's not an enemy. It's not a foe. It's not an adversary. It's not separate from you. When you start seeing things the way they actually are, and you just listen to what your body is trying to signal you or message you, you're going to look at those symptom sets a lot differently. And you're going to stop trying to label it, compartmentalize it. You're going to stop competing for the same life force that flows within your body through all the organs and all the systems. It tends to concentrate itself at certain hours of the day as it makes its full circuit in a circadian rhythm, the 24 hours. This is something that we learn in basic medical theory and traditional Chinese medicine in school. So your comments are appreciated, but I would appreciate it if you could try to keep them in the spirit of exploratory discussion and not proving or disproving things. This is what I know to be true for my patient population in the past, and what has held up in times of great adversity for me. Just to really focus in on what can I do to help the functioning of my internal organs and the systems that they run. And any biomedically defined disease that should come up on the radar is still framed according to that focus, or it's centered around the principle that ultimately you need to have your body do for itself. And anything you can do that is the least bit invasive is going to help all systems, because they're not competing anymore. It's a cooperative strategy. Okay, fire away.